It's a good idea to use consistent language when talking about colour, especially since the textbooks vary greatly in their use of terminology in general. Primary colours. The true primary colours are magenta, yellow and cyan. Traditionally, however, artists think of the primary colours as being red, yellow and blue. These colours cannot be mixed from other colours. They are distinctly different. There is no mistaking one for the other, and when two of them are mixed together they yield secondary colours. Green, orange and violet are the secondary colours. Green is a mixture of yellow and blue, orange results from adding red to yellow, and violet from mixing red and blue. They should be an exact mix with neither parent colour being dominant. If one parent colour is dominant, these are referred to as tertiary colours. The tertiary colours are yellow-green, blue-green, red-orange, yellow-orange, blue-violet and red-violet. The name of the dominant colour precedes the name of the secondary colour to which it is added. More yellow is added to green to make it yellow-green, more blue and it becomes blue-green. If we add more blue to violet, it becomes blue-violet. And if the situation is reversed, it's red-violet. In red-orange, the red is dominant, and yellow-orange contains more yellow. The term tertiary is something of a misnomer, however, as it only requires a mixture of two colours to produce a tertiary colour. Yellow-green is still just a mixture of yellow and blue, for example, but there is more yellow in the mix, which makes it the dominant colour. Hue is colour. The hue of this colour is red, and this blue. In these examples it's quite distinct as they appear completely different, but it can be harder to evaluate the hue of earth colours. Black, white and the greys have no hue. Adding white to any colour turns it into a tint. In this example we can see fully saturated green gradually tinting to white. In watercolour painting, colours are tinted by adding more water. This thins the paint, allowing more of the paper to show through. When using opaque colours such as gouache, opaque oils or acrylics, it is necessary to add white to achieve a tint. Shades are the opposite of tints and are achieved by adding black. Shades of red and orange are rich browns, and you might use blue and violet shades to colour the night sky. The colours on this side of the colour wheel are regarded as warm, and on this side they are regarded as cool. The hottest colour is red-orange, and the coldest is its complementary blue-green. This Antarctic landscape is entirely composed of blue-green tints, and the coals of this fire are a range of red-oranges. If colours are referred to as a warm violet or a cool green, it generally reflects the amount of red or blue contained in the colour. For example, this range of reds is noticeably cooler on the right, where it contains more blue. The value of a colour is its relative lightness or darkness. Black is the darkest and white the lightest. Here the primary and secondary colours are compared to a grayscale to show their relative values. Note that green and red have approximately the same value. Yellow is the lightest, and its complementary violet is the darkest. This is why even a tiny amount of violet will muddy yellow very quickly. Intensity refers to the degree of saturation of a colour. A fully saturated colour contains no grey, and colours are less saturate when they are closer to the middle of the colour wheel. Only the colours on the outside of the colour wheel are fully saturated. Often, a desaturated colour is referred to as a tone. In this example, the colour on the right is a tone of red. Saturation is sometimes referred to as chroma. Luminosity is a colour's ability to appear to glow, and it depends very much on value and surrounding colours. Black has no luminosity, and white is perhaps the most luminous colour of all. The luminosity of yellow increases when we add white, and increases even more when we change the background to a complementary colour. Complementary colours are found on opposite sides of the colour wheel. The complementary of red, for example, is green, and blue's complementary is orange. Blue-green and red-orange are complementary in terms of their colour, as well as being the warmest and coolest colours, while yellow and violet are complementary as well as being the most extreme in terms of value. It's very important to use consistent terminology when thinking about colour. For example, this green could be described as olive green, but it's better to call it a desaturated yellow-green. Likewise, this brown could be described as burgundy, but it's really a shade of red. By using this kind of terminology, you will find it much easier to visualise where a colour is in the three-dimensional model, and it becomes a simple matter to mix it from the colours in your paint box.